Hi, everybody. Welcome in Sports Talk Chicago. Great to see all of you here with us, man. It's good to be here. Good to be here tonight talking all things Bears football on your local radio and TV affiliate. Of course, here on YouTube as well at Sports Talk Chicago. Big shout out to all of our great affiliates. WKAN 105.5 The Ticket, ACTV, CDs 92.9 Talk FM, WJOB, and Jet TV. Jon Zaghloul here with you. John Meadows directing and producing. So much Bears news has broken over this weekend. We're going to discuss all of it, including the fact that Kevin Warren's going to be making football decisions at the end of this season. We've been wondering where he's been. Well, now he's here. He's going to be evaluating Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, Justin Fields, and more. We're going to discuss that coming up in just a second. Plus, what will happen to Matt Eberflus? And reports indicate that if Matt Eberflus goes, Justin Fields is out too. And we have a Bears-Lions preview for this Sunday's game, in which we're going to be live for here on Sports Talk Chicago. It's a huge and loaded show. We appreciate all of you tuning in here with us on this great evening. Remember, you can follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the like button. 18,600 subscribers and counting. We really appreciate all of you supporting. And, if you miss any of this show, hit up the podcast, sportstalkchicago.com. Also want to say that we may have some more news coming up in the coming weeks about radio and TV affiliates, so stay tuned for that. We might see some new logos near the top of that screen, but we're certainly appreciative of all the great affiliates that we're on today. And, it is awesome to see our audience continue to grow in the way that it has. And a huge thank you to all of them, all the station managers and program directors that we have great relationships with on a weekly basis for putting our show on and giving us the opportunity to reach more people across the radio and across television. Well, we've been wondering where Kevin Warren is. Mike North came out a couple of weeks ago and said the same thing. I've been saying it for months. Where the hell's Kevin Warren? He was supposed to be instrumental in making sure the stadium deal went through, and right now that's kind of in flux. We haven't heard any updates about that either. The Bears have done a good job at just keeping his name out of everything. They've kept it quiet. Nobody knows where Kevin Warren is. We just see him during games, pissed off in his owner's box or in his president's box about how this on-the-field performance is going. Well, now, according to reports from Deanna Bersini of The Athletic, Kevin Warren is going to be making big decisions at the end of this season, and according to her, Kevin Warren alone is going to be making big decisions at the end of this season. I want to read you what she wrote. This is an official report from her. A league source told me, Bersini, that Kevin Warren has been given the power to oversee polls in the Bears front office. He's earned it, too, with more than 2 decades of experience in the NFL. Warren has a strong hand in football operations and will have a significant role in the potential firings, hirings, and decisions at the quarterback position. He has spent the last 8 months getting a feel for the organization. That may explain his silence. So here's what Bersini wrote. So what can we expect from Warren? He won't be making any knee-jerk decisions or choosing a path for optics. He's described as methodical, unemotional, a planner. There's a long-term approach being applied. It doesn't take a lot of emotion to see that the Bears could be in line for another major overhaul. Whoa! Atomic bomb dropped from Deanna Bersini. You know what? Happy to see it. I think the Bears deferring to Warren, he is the president, is the right move. Not Ted Phillips lurking around in the background, not the McCaskies, not anybody who has no idea what football means or what goes on over there, but actually a football person who is brought in to lead football operations. Kevin Warren's the president of the Chicago Bears. He's been a president of other teams. He's been an executive with other teams. He's the frickin' commissioner of the Big Ten at one point. Certainly he knows what it all comes down to in terms of building a good football team. He knows what it means to have a good general manager, good executive, good head coach, good quarterback. He knows how all of that works. So the fact that he has been formally given power, according to this report, is unbelievably encouraging to me. And what I love, and this was a great quote from Bersini, we're going to see if it comes into action, but here's what it says. He won't be making any knee-jerk decisions or choosing a path for optics. How many times have we seen coaches, executives, the Bears themselves choosing paths for optics? I mean, it happens all the time. Every year we see paths and decisions made for optics. I don't want to feel bad about this. I don't want social media to kill me for that. We're going to put in Justin Fields because, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to get rid of Mitch Trubisky because of this. We're going to get rid of Matt Nagy because of this. We might keep this person, that person. There's never a football decision behind personnel changes. It's always, well, how the fans going to react? How pissed are they going to get? Are they going to come for our heads? Kevin Warren says no. He's not going to choose a path for optics. Meaning if he comes in, the Bears just fired everybody a couple of years ago. If they have to do it again, they will. Warren's described as, quote, methodical, unemotional, a planner. It doesn't take a lot of emotion to see that the Bears could be in line for another major overhaul. Uh-oh. That's Rossini speaking, injecting her opinion, but based on her source, I find it pretty accurate to say that, too. And the main point is this: Kevin Warren has no loyalty nor ties to anybody in this Bears regime. See, we could sit here and make the connections that maybe he should keep Poles, keep Eberflus. He's indebted to some of them, indebted to Justin Fields. Not the case. Did Kevin Warren hire Ryan Poles? No. Did Kevin Warren hire Matt Eberflus? No. Did Kevin Warren consent to having Justin Fields be his quarterback? No. But John, they posed together at Justin Fields' graduation. My bad. I'm sorry. That means they must be best friends. No. Everything is on the table. And this isn't a matter of emotion or a matter of, oh, well, he hates. No, he doesn't hate anybody. He's going to do what's best for the organization, I hope, at least according to this report. Now, we'll see what he ends up doing. That will determine whether or not it's good or whether or not it's best for the organization. But as of right now, I'm going to trust this report from Rossini, and I love what it says. And here's the commentary from Sports Mockery, which I agree with. Warren had no say in the hiring of Poles and Eberflus. McCaskey and his committee might have felt that they were the two best choices to lead the Bears. Warren may feel differently. Yeah. And Warren's been around since 2005, at least with the Vikings, for a while. So Kevin Warren knows how to hire coaches, how to fire coaches, how to hire GMs, how to fire GMs. He's been a part of this process before. This isn't foreign to him, to say the least. And we'll know by January, maybe February, what really is going to happen to Eberflus and Poles and this whole situation. But I'll tell you what, with this report coming out now, this was a bombshell on a bye week coming out about the Bears and what's going on there. There are a lot of decisions that are going to be made that have to be made. They're going to be tough. People might not like them, but I'll tell you what. To me, it's a no-brainer. And I love this article and this report from Rossini about Kevin Warren. And I'm hoping that he sticks to his guns and makes decisions based on fact. Like, here's a fact. Matt Eberflus has the worst winning percentage in Bears history as far as a head coach goes. That's a fact. Fact. Ryan Poles screwed up with Bettis Jones Jr., Chase Claypool. I mean, we could go on and on and on, right? He hired Matt Eberflus. He kept Justin Fields. Just saying. See, everybody has something working against them, and Ryan Poles has done some good, don't get me wrong, but Eberflus is not, and Poles' bad at times outweighs the good. So now we sit here with a couple of games left in this season. The Bears are 4-8. They're not going anywhere. People are celebrating that they're in the hunt on some NBC Sports graphics. I don't give a blank if they're in the hunt. They're not going anywhere. That's the truth of the matter. So come the end of this season, we're going to really see how this all plays out. But I'm not going to consider this season a success. I don't think Kevin Warren will either. It's not just me speaking. What do you think Kevin Warren's going to say? You think he's happy about how this has gone? He walks into a situation in which Ryan Poles is spending tons of money, fortunately. The Bears are all hyped up. Warren's in, trying to help out with the stadium and help learn the ropes, and then they go 4-8. And there's a quarterback situation at the very least. And we haven't seen enough out of Justin Fields to justify a big contract. And the Chase Claypool thing was an absolute nightmare. Bettis Jones is a bust. Think it's a success? You think Kevin Warren's sitting there thinking, you know what? Good year. Happy I'm part of this team. No. Of course not. He's not happy about this. Nobody would be. Any football evaluator, legitimate evaluator, not a fanboy or a fanalist or somebody who has loyalty to this team, knows that this is not a great season. This is not a cause for celebration or joy. And here's what Rossini said, by the way, before her entire report. Quote, everything is being evaluated. Thank you. Everything's going to be evaluated. Everything. Every aspect of this team. And I'll tell you what, when you evaluate this team fairly and objectively, you cannot spin it in any which way that's going to make it look good. The Bears PR team might try to spin it. Analysts across the NFL might try to spin it in a certain direction. But the fact is they're 4-8. The fact is Justin Fields may or may not be the answer, but the fact that we don't know is a problem. The fact is Matt Eberflus is one of the worst coaches in Bears history, according to record. The fact is, at times, Ryan Poles has made bad decisions with personnel. Now, would it suck for the Bears to have to turn everything over and rebuild? Yeah, it would. I mean, what about these past 2 years, right? It would be horrible. And I'm not advocating to sit here and say, all right, you know what, let's just clean it up anyway. But what other choice do you have? If you keep Poles and keep Eberflus and keep Fields and just run it back again with this whole group, there might be a slight improvement. But how long is it going to take for you to put up results with this core and this team? How long must we wait for this? I mean, they're 4-8 now. They were horrendous last year. Kevin Warren is going to make that decision. And the fact that we're sitting here today and there's at least a threat of all this stuff happening, a threat of everybody being fired, is good because it shows that Kevin Warren's evaluating things as they are, not with a slant or with a loyalty or with I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. No, he's being honest. He's being honest with the situation. He's being legitimate with what is going on. Because you cannot spin it any other way to me. Sorry. You can't sit here and tell me, hey, there's a lot to be excited about for next year. There could be some to be excited about, but not a lot and not everything. And this was a disaster of a season. We all recall what happened in July and August when the Bears spent money, and we all thought, including myself, 9-8 team, wild card type team. And I am glad to say that, that I was on that bandwagon. You know why? Because they spent money and they made things happen. And they decided to act somewhat like contenders, but clearly the results aren't there. And Kevin Warren's going to have to make the decision as to whether or not Poles, Eberflus, Fields, and pretty much everybody on this team deserves to stay. And right now, answer is no. And the fact that this report came out or this source was leaked, whatever you want to call it, goes to show that there are doubts inside the Bears' presidential suite. That's enough to say that something may go down by the end of this season. I'm going to maintain that Poles is going to stay. I don't think they're going to fire him because he's only a 2-year GM, although he made the decision to hire Eberflus and keep Fields. But I'll tell you what, Matt Eberflus is out the door, and there's nothing that I could see him doing to retain his job unless they win out and finish 9-8. Or maybe 7-10, maybe 8-9. I could see them keeping him around. But his laundry list of infractions are all the way up to here. And nobody could justify that to me. I mean, let's go past the worst record in Bears history, right? He's got coaches on his staff making mistakes. He's got a defense that's improving now, but was horrendous in the beginning of the season. And his team just can't win. His team cannot win football games. That doesn't mean that he deserves to stay. If you lose, you get fired. We're not going to start rewarding mediocrity or cellar dwelling in the NFC North. So there's a lot on the table right now. And there's a lot to be determined. We don't know how things are going to fully play out, but I'll tell you what. The fact that this is on the table, the fact that this is being floated, that is prominent in and of itself. I mean, the fact that this report came out the way it did too this weekend, kind of on a Sunday, people kind of quiet, that's a big deal. And again, here's the direct quote from Rossini. In her report, a leak source told me Warren has been given the power to oversee polls and the Bears front office. So Ryan Poles is being micromanaged and evaluated, as he should be, for some of his bad decisions. And if Poles was perfect, if Poles was doing everything right, this report wouldn't come out, and this knowledge of Warren overseeing everything wouldn't come out, or wouldn't even be occurring. You're only going to be watched closely when you keep screwing up. It's like at work, right? You get on a probationary plan, then eventually you're fired. A performance PIP is what they call it, right? Eventually, you know you're probably going to be out the door. Very few people survive that. And now Poles is kind of on that list here. In addition to everybody under him. So Eberflus, Fields, everybody's under this umbrella of Kevin Warren scrutinizing every minute detail. So, word of warning here to everybody. Kevin Warren's not playing around, which I love. So, instead of spinning the narrative to try and justify a successful 4-8 season, we should face the reality like Kevin Warren is and understand that this Bears team is a failure in 2023. Changes may come.